everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. I just like to post pictures of my drawings and art, no drama, nothing. And I've also posted a link to the two stories we're going to cover today. So we're going to be looking at Superman Batman number 10 and 11 from 1994 by Michael Turner as the artist, and Jeph Loeb is the writer. We start out with this beautiful cover here. Michael Turner, rest in peace. He passed away from cancer, and he was an incredible artist. So this is penciled. This entire issue is done in pencils. Michael Turner created some very fine pencil line, and it was computer colored by Peter Steigerwald. I really don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I do apologize. He was Michael Turner's preferred colorist. So, all right, I have been covering the Superman Batman run beginning with number 1. I did skip issue 7. So the way Jeph Loeb does is he has both of them talking, or you can read their thoughts in both of them. So when you look at this, you'll have it just, he does that in every issue. And I forgot to mention, I've also putting the DC fan page link to the story, so you can look at the plot line in case I miss anything. You can take a look at them. So we're in Themyscira, Wonder Woman's base of operations, and Batman and Superman are observing Kara here. Again, Superman's in yellow and Batman's in blue. So she's going to be training against Artemis. I love this is what I mean, the intricate detail of his pencils. Now, Michael Turner was known as doing the hot girl. Now, one of the things that's kind of, if you take a look at the anatomy, is what long waists they have. I mean, he wasn't proportionately accurate, but he was this was kind of his thing. So this is how you drew. Is it sexist? Most likely, but it is what it is. So throughout the thinking, basically, Superman is basically still upset about how Supergirl was brought into the island, although it has been weeks that they've been there, but he's still brewing. And Batman still views the plan that he and Wonder Woman forged as necessary. So, and you can see here that Artemis bested Supergirl. And here comes Superman being the super protector. So this does seem awfully out of character for Superman. I know that they're trying to present him as very family oriented, but they're portraying him as overly protective, and I think that is out of character for Superman. But it is for this story. But like I said, I don't think Superman would be overreacting like this, because he knows darn well that Artemis wasn't going to kill her. So Wonder Woman says if Artemis would have struck her, the sword would have shattered because of how invulnerable they are. And that if he has a problem, then you come to her. Then he comes to her, and then he says that's fine because she's the person that they're having issues with, and she says don't take it out on anyone else then. And oh my goodness, what is her name? Harbinger. She's originally from the Crisis on Infinite Earths. She she doesn't realize Superman had such a temper, and Supergirl says he's a little overprotective, which this person here says a little. So Superman says it's enough. That Kara's coming home, and Wonder Woman. First of all, look at Batman just with his hands crossed, just looking here. So, and Wonder Woman says, "We're back to the fortress where she can only have contact with the dog. Or are you planning to have her move into his apartment?" Superman then says, that she was sent to Earth to him, and he's got her here training for battle when she's got enough power to take on the entire island. And she says having power and knowing how to use it are the same thing, and that he knows better. So why doesn't he step back and look at the picture, big picture? And then Supergirl says, "Hey, can I say something?" Supergirl's a little annoyed that they're talking about her like she's not even there and if she should not have a say. And then Superman kind of looks down, and she says, he was the baby and she was sent there to look after him. And Superman says that unfortunately that's not how it turned out, and they have to deal with the here and now, and she's still a teenager, and that he spent his time growing up on Earth, and who else would be better to decide what is best for her? And she's, of course, saying, "What about me?" Wonder Woman says, "Why don't you go off with your friends until dinner?" And she's like, "Getting rid of me so the adults can talk." And Wonder Woman's just not even mincing words. It's something like that. Real quick, I want to tell you how I love. I'm a I'm a fan of how Frank Miller portrays Batman with the little ears. But once in a while, when you see someone do the big ears, another person that does the huge bat ears is Kelly Jones. He does an incredible rendition of Batman with these huge ears. But Michael Turner you just don't see that very often. Everybody draws them, probably about half of this. A few people, Joe Quesada is one of them, and Frank Miller draw them short. I draw mine medium, probably one third of this, but um, it's pretty cool to see the big ears. So Harbinger and Supergirl take off here. Superman says he doesn't appreciate all this, doesn't like this plan that they cooked up, and uh, Batman notices that he really looked like he was gonna slap Artemis' neck back then. Of course, she says uh, to kind of calling out to Batman here. He says, "No, we've tiptoed around this long enough." Now, one of the things that was going on during the early 2000s is writer Brad Meltzer had taken over Justice League, and he started giving everybody was treating themselves with first names. I don't quite agree. I don't see Batman calling anyone. I can see him calling Wonder Woman Diana, but I just can't see him calling Superman Clark. I mean, he would say Kent, but he wouldn't use his first name. If anything, he'd say Kent. So anyway, so Batman still believes that this is a trap from Luthor or something orchestrated. So he says, ever since Supergirl got into their lives, he's let the guard down, exposed his secret identity. Common sense would have indicated he take it slower. He said, "How long did it take you to let Superboy this far into the game?" Um, so Superboy, I think that was Kurt Connor. He's still around. I do apologize. I don't follow the Superboy stuff. So, uh, Kent Connor? No, I'll apologize. I really don't know who Superboy was. But anyway, he says Superboy wasn't from Krypton, and Batman says, "How do you know she is?" And of course, Superman's like, "How do you know she isn't?" Now, In Supergirl, because she's got super hearing, she's hearing everything that's being said. He tells Superman that, Superman tells Batman he doesn't know why he looks for the bad in everyone, but every instinct tells him that that is his cousin. So Batman tells him that it wasn't long that he had a lead on who killed his parents. It was retconned. So at this time, Batman didn't know it was Joe Chill. That was Batman Year Two, which by the way I have covered. Um, wasn't It was revealed that it was Joe Chill, and Batman worked with him, but that's been retconned here. So that Superman had warned Batman to take it slow, that it could have been planted. Superman, of course, is like she's from Krypton, so they're showing just how much he missed wanting to have someone, so that he wasn't the only one. So Wonder Woman says, "Well, let's assume she is. She's young, impressionable, raw, untested, and someone could exploit that." And if he thinks that uh, and that anyone in the universe can keep that a secret, of course, Superman says, "What is it that you're not telling me?" Love the fine line. I mean, I tell you, Michael Turner, man, oh man, rest in peace, Mike. But what, um, that was such a fine line, such good detail. So Harbinger asks, "What are they talking about?" Supergirl like, "What else? Deciding my future." So as far as Harbinger is concerned, Supergirl is a good person, and she's someone that can be trusted. So you can see the two of them embrace here. So, and she also tells her that Wonder Woman knows what she's doing, and she should also trust Wonder Woman. So, um, she says, Supergirl says she's gonna get changed. She feels like a swim, and then she'll be right there. And then she looks in the orb. Of course, this is a very unlike Crisis on Infinite Earth, where Superman held the dead Supergirl. So this orb is kind of showing her a possible future. So a look at this doomsday that Michael Turner drew here. My goodness gracious, that is awesome. So Harbinger kind of lets the other ones know about her visions about Karis, and that her presence will bring death and destruction. But there's no specific. When suddenly there's a boom tube here, and in that boom tube is Doomsday. Superman tells the others to protect Kara while he handles Doomsday. But suddenly, look at all these other Doomsdays. So the Amazons are going to fight, and tells Batman to take a weapon, which he does. Very cool. He look at him with that axe. So out goes the Amazons to fight the Doomsdays. That's pretty cool. So here comes Batman taking a big swing here. So we're just kind of go on and look at what's going on. We're not really concerned. Again, everyone he puts in a lot of words, kind of just to give you emotion and what stuff are feeling, or people are feeling, things like that. So she's gonna go get Superman. He says no. Batman says no because she's needed here on the battlefield. Um, Batman says that something's wrong. Doomsday has had evolved into a sentient being, thinking and talking. These creatures are more um, are different, and Batman throws a batarang at them, and he says that they're not alive, and he blows them up, and you can see him kind of smiling. Um, Batman's always so cool. So the Amazons are and Batman are trying to dispose of doomsday creatures, because again, they're not the same as doomsday. Still, I kind of love the way Michael Turner draws. And so this doomsday looks like he's about to crush her. Man, look at this. Look at these, the size of these legs, or the length of these legs. Goodness gracious. And here comes Superman. So Superman apologizes uh, to Artemis about before. She says you were just protecting. And Wonder Woman's like, whatever, these things have to be stopped. So Superman says to pull back his armies, and this is about to end now. So here comes the Doomsday going, and Superman's about to use his heat vision here and dispose of these Doomsdays. He's glad that they were able to knock him down because he doesn't believe he could do this again. So, and he says, "Where's Batman?" So Wonder Woman and Superman take off. So, uh, Batman says that he couldn't be sure. He thought it was an echo, but when the boom tube opened, that he saw that there was a second boom tube that had opened simultaneously, and then from that there were maybe four or four or maybe up to six of them. It says here that it was Darkseid's raiders, and they were ruthless and efficient. And while the Doomsdays kept them preoccupied, and then we have Supergirl here that appears to be dead. We know, of course, if you're reading this, that that's not possible because, well, that wouldn't be quite the story. You're not going to reveal her to come back just like this. So something's up. So Superman does believe that this is Supergirl that is dead. So look at Batman just kind of with his neck down. And he says that the orb is showing her something, and in there is Darkseid. And Superman is gonna realizes that Darkseid has her, and he says he's gonna go to Apocalypse and get Kara back. So we go into the next one. That is also, look at this amazing cover from Michael Turner. Just so cool. So we're now in issue 11. It's same creative team. So as I told you, the trope of Batman and Superman kind of talking or thinking throughout this whole thing. So you can see here that it looks like Wonder Woman for sure. I don't know if that's Superman or Batman. I believe that's Superman because of the cape. So it is. You can see the hair here. So this woman answers the doors, and she says, "When you said you guys were coming right over," she didn't realize that they were really coming right over. So you didn't leave like a Batmobile invisible airplane in the driveway, she says. So, and she's like, "Hey, lovely day, Mrs. Kravitz," as she is looks at the heroes. So where we are here is this is Big Barda, and they're at the home of Mr. Miracle and Barda, who are married. They are from Apocalypse and live on Earth. So Wonder Woman thanks them for letting them use her mother box. And Barda asks for a few moments so they can get changed so they can go. But Superman doesn't want her to go. So Barda says it's a deal breaker and she won't be left behind. Batman then opens up as you can see here, Batman is opening up Mr. Miracle stuff because goodness, there's a reason Batman's the most popular of character for DC Comics and why everyone loves him. but he needs to borrow some of Mr. Miracle's equipment. So it's just so funny as these two are arguing. Batman's just in the background. Chick, click, opens it up. So so as Barda steps out to change, Wonder Woman tries to get Superman comfortable with the fact that Barda is going to be coming, but Superman is anything but happy. He partly blames Batman and Wonder Woman for Supergirl's kidnapping, as it was their forced involvement that led to it. Wonder Woman reminds Superman that many of the Amazons, including Harbinger, gave their lives defending Kara. Superman, of course, counters that they wouldn't even have been having this conversation if it had been Donna Troy or Jason Todd. Batman calms both of them out, pointing that Kara isn't dead. And here comes Barda stepping in. And she's like, okay, let's go take Darkseid down. Very cool how. Look at this. I love her costumes. This is probably one of my favorite costumes in all of comics. I love, for example, Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. He's up there with also one of my favorite costumes, but this one's in the top 10 for sure of my favorite costumes out there. So, and she's like, "Go team!" Again, Michael Turner's waist, just my goodness. So, they're crossing the boom tube, went into Apocalypse, which Wonder Woman says it smells like death. Very cool. Very cool. So once they're in Apocalypse, Superman reminds everyone that once that everyone knows their jobs, and just to be clear, Kara's gonna come with him once once this is all done. And Batman replies, "Just so we're clear, everyone goes home." So, and he's used like Orion. Batman is so cool. So, and Barda says, "Does he know what he's getting into?" And Wonder Woman says he's not sure. She's not sure, but she's known Superman a long time, but she's not sure this time. So as the two head into this Coliseum, Barda and Wonder Woman are um, talk a little bit. Barda says how Wonder Woman is an inspiration to her. Um, and she says when someone brings hope to another person, it's a gift, especially when she had to grow up in Apocalypse, which is a hellhole. So all of a sudden, here someone says, "Where you grew up, Barda, is where you will die." And Barda calls out the female Furies: Mad Harriet, Lashina, Stampa, and Guillotina. So, um, I don't know which one's which. So, this one here says she never should have come back, although personally she looks forward to any chance to kill Barda. Okay, so that's Guillotina here. So, Barda says, "I tell you to go to hell, but given this situation, that's redundant." So, uh, Wonder Woman and Barda are about to fight the Furies, which is so freaking cool. They're two badasses, those two. Wonder Woman says they're very good, and she says yes, she's trained them. You can see here Wonder Woman using her lasso, and Barda stabs this one. Most likely not killed because they're still around. So, and this one must be Stampa here. So, or maybe I don't know. I don't know who's who. So she's attacking. Look at that. Um she's about to kill this one. They yell at her, say, "Lay down your weapon, Amazon, or Barda dies." So Barda says, "Let them kill me, never surrender." So, And so this one says, here you go, Granny, as we promised. This is Granny Goodness, of course. So she says, Darkseid will be pleased. Why settle for some girl who fell to earth when I can deliver to him the queen of the Amazons? And so Wonder Woman sort of calls out for Barda. And so here comes Batman. And here comes these dog creatures, some demon dogs here. So honestly, I don't know how Apocalypse has air because it's all there should be no oxygen in there with all the how trouble it is. So here come the dogs. And so Batman's using, of course, some of Mr. Miracle's weapons and was able to get that thing to explode on those, fall on the dogs so he could escape. So he goes in here. I don't know how Batman knows where he's going, but he's Batman, so I guess he always knows where he's going. So this is Darkseid's armories, and these are hell spores, which are powerful bomb which burn their way from the surface into a core of a planet, and that's what forms those fire pits in there. And he's going to use the mother box to sort of reprogram them, but you can see something's coming from behind, and it's another one of those demon dogs. So he puts on the backpack over his head, so he's going to take it with him, and the dog's going to, of course, try to eat Batman, so must have something in there. So man, oh man, this is probably one of the best depictions of Apocalypse that's been. So it looks like Michael Turner definitely brought his inner nerd here. So these are the death jockeys. They're basically like kamikazes. They live to die for Darkseid. So they're blowing up this bridge thing. But we can tell Superman still survives here. He's going to make his way into Darkseid's palace here. Suicide jockeys is what they were called, so. And Superman says Kara's going to leave with him. Then suddenly he's got his eyes, and Darkseid here, which is a very, with this pointy thing, I mean, it's a very cool here. He says she's free to leave if that's what she desires. So Superman is gonna try to take her with him. He says that you're safe now, and Darkseid, of course, says yes, she is safe now. And he speaks Kryptonian and tells her you'll always be safe with me. Darkseid, and then he tells Darkseid that after Kara's home, they'll have some unfinished business. But she says, here, Cal, you didn't listen to what Darkseid said. You never listened to anyone other than him. So Superman's like, he's corrupted you. And then she's like, he said I was free to go if I wanted to. And Superman says, I won't fight you. And she says, you should have listened to me. And Darkseid says, good, now kill him. So here we go. So this concludes our 2 issues for today. So Batman Superman 10 and 11 by Jeph Loeb, writer, and Michael Turner is your artist. I've also covered a couple of other stuff from Jeph Loeb as well. Feel free to check them out and if you'd like to. I've covered his Batman Halloween special. I've covered Superman for All Seasons, and of course the Batman Superman. So I'll be getting to some more of his stuff. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.